In Australia, 11 deputies of all political stripes appeared in a joint video, very well produced, to demand Assange's release. The parliamentarians called on Biden to drop all of the charges against Assange. You can see the minute-and-a-half video on YouTube, which was also featured, at least in part, on Australia's 60 Minutes program. In Italy, several parliamentarians recently held signs of Julian in Parliament, demanding his freedom. And there will be a sit-in today for Assange in Rome. So we'll see how that goes. Well, that's some of the news. But I'm mostly interested in building a mass movement to free Assange. That means linking our struggle with the movements to free Mumia Abu-Jamal and all political prisoners. Mumia, by the way, sent a video from jail to the Oakland tour with the Shiptons just a few days ago. So Mumia is right there with the struggle to free Assange, and we are with him. We are with Mumia. Free Mumia now.
Free Mumia now. Free Mumia now.
Free Mumia now.
Free Mumia now.
That means bringing our struggle to free Assange to those fighting the racist police, to the fighters in the trade union movement, to the anti-war struggles, and so on and so on. Our June 10th event showed that interest in Assange is leaping ahead. The internet hits on our New York event and the entire Home Run for Julian tour are in the many thousands. And 1 million hits for Roger Waters alone, for cursing out Zuckerberg, as he was completely correct in doing. Right on, Roger. That, for you non-rock and rollers, he's from Pink Floyd. All right.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Biden, stop the frame-up, drop all charges against Julian Assange, stop the torture, and free him now.
Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.
Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.
Free Julian Assange.
And I have to end with free Mumia Abu-Jamal, Leonard Peltier, and all political prisoners. Thank you.
Free Mumia now.
I think we have another speaker guest. We're very lucky to have Kim Ives, who's the editor of KT Liberté.
Yay!
And he's going to speak a little bit more about what WikiLeaks revealed in terms of that country, which include all kinds of environmental, economic, and war-making efforts together. And welcome, please, Kim Ives.
Thank you. Well, here we are again. Once again, a little fewer in number, but I think around the world, as Marty just told us, the consciousness and the outrage around Julian's continued imprisonment for nothing, for absolutely nothing criminal, only truth-telling, only putting out the facts as written by the U.S. government. This is his whole crime. Truth. Truth is a crime. It's maybe a coincidence that 50 years ago, the year of his birth, around the time of his birth, the Pentagon Papers were coming out. This was the beginning. Really the beginning, we can say, of people becoming conscious, of realizing that their government was lying to them in a massive, sustained, decades-long manner. That's what the Pentagon Papers show. 22 years of lies, of deception, of secret war. And that's what Julian showed us with the collateral murder video, showing the absolute ruthlessness and depravity of the U.S. military, gunning down civilians, unarmed people, journalists going about their job for nothing. At Haiti Liberté, it was a decade ago that we began publishing articles based on 1,918 cables that Julian and his team gave us. We'd gone to Haiti to get them, and we had a direct video link with Julian while we were there. And I can remember, he would have been about 40 years old then, 39, and he was so happy, he was so joyful to be providing this information, these classified cables which showed nothing but not only deception, but actual crime that was being done against Haiti. And we proceeded over the course of the next year, 2 years, really up until today, a decade later, producing over 30 articles based on these documents. Now, Haiti Liberté, it is the largest nation weekly, but Haiti is a country of 11 million people, about the size of New York City. So normally we would not have access to such a gold mine of information. Normally, this would be something that you would need to have the gravitas of the New York Times or the Washington Post or a major urban week daily to be able to get access to get a link of that nature. But there was Julian, who gave it to the New York Times, who gave it to The Guardian, Le Monde, Der Spiegel, and they turned up their nose at it. They didn't want it because it hadn't been leaked to them by a government official, by somebody who was in the machinery. And really that's the difference with Julian. Daniel Ellsberg, who leaked the Pentagon Papers, we have to remember, he was the number 3 guy at the Pentagon. He was a fairly big wig. Julian was, we could say, of the people. He was, not that Daniel Ellsberg is not, but Julian did this through his own energies and that of his team. They basically went about gaining these leaks, this information, and starting a movement, really a worldwide movement for truth and transparency. And I think that we can say on this 50th birthday of Julian that he has changed the world. He has opened the eyes of all of us and of millions and even billions. When he was born 50 years ago, the Earth's population was 3,600,000,000. $760 million. Today, we're $7.7 billion. This is the exponential growth of world population, but also of his power, his effect, and his impact. Happy birthday, Julian Assange. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you, Goodman.
Okay, I think that's really it for our program today. And again, thank you all for coming out and to mark this anniversary of Julian Assange's birth. And let us all hope that coming soon we hear a favorable outcome from the High Court. Thank you all for coming out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julian. Happy birthday to you.
I just wanted to reinforce what Marty Goodman talked about in terms of the importance of linking. So I was turned off. I'm used to that. But anyway, the importance of making these linkages within the anti-war movement. Some of us realize it's quite small. And many of us are old enough to remember when we had a real anti-war movement, and we're trying very hard to rejuvenate this essential movement. So we are trying to have the War Powers Act once again, so the 6th president cannot bomb throughout the world, continue without going through any approval, to kill civilians. We know how Julian supported that. Julian is suffering for exposing those truths. Along with that, we have Daniel Hale. And so free Daniel Hale. Free Daniel Hale. Free Daniel Hale. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. So the whistleblower Daniel Hale, we do have a press conference on bankillerdrones.org. I just wanted people, many of you over the years will know the work of Nick. I forgot his last name. No, turn to Ban Killer Joan.
Kathy Kelly.
To bankillerdrones.org. What are you going to add to that, Ellen?
NoDrones.org. I believe is website. KNOWDRONES.org.
Okay. And we got the Grannies to have a song.
And someone sing with me another soloist. Okay, I'm coming to sing with you. Very sad. Okay, ready? Our country
Thank you.
isn't free. Where's our humanity? We protest now. Julian Assange was right, brought secret files to light. He must have had torture.
thank you. Thanks so much.
You're holding this up? Oh, no. Oh, it's pink.
Thank you for holding me back. How many